So instead, we lifted this up so they don't have that issue anymore. This tool caddy. This is probably one of my favorite pieces on the intelligence side because this gets into where a lot of my work is. Half my work's design, the other half now is in dealing in this crazy new world of basically of how do we get back to the old school ideas of hospitality and how do we teach it to this younger generation when we don't really have the money for training anymore. So one of the places we focus, believe it or not, is sort of a very easy application of neuroscience with hospitality, and that's simple. It's this. You play a sport ever when you were a kid, you know, competitively, high school, college? There is no great athlete, period, in a field sport that plays with their head down. You can't see what's coming. Same with bartenders. There's no great bartenders that work like this. Head's got to be up in the game. You want to drop into the zone. Anyone who bartended high volume will tell you, like, that feeling, like when just time slows down and you see everything, you hear everything, and you're ahead of everyone. And it's such a rush, just like in sports. That is a very physiological and mental thing happening. It's called flow state, and that happens because you shut off your inner critic, your frontal lobe, and you go into procedural memory, reaction, martial arts. That's why you practice emotion over and over, because your body can remember and simultaneously do a nearly limitless number of actions at once. Your frontal lobe, your higher reasoning, your language can only do one thing at a time. You're like, no, you're not. All the time I drive and talk on the phone. And then, like me, you miss your exit because you're on the phone, right? Who in the room right now has been in the grocery store shopping on the phone for one item during the entire call and never found the item? You're either listening to the call or you are tracking for that object. You cannot do both simultaneously. It is impossible. So, if I'm bartending and I'm in the zone and I've got all my tools in a little dipper well or a mason jar or whatever, I have to stop, frontal lobe, inner critic, track, drop out of flow state, drop out of that zone, drop out of the conversation, the connection with the guest, the hospitality, just to find a strainer? Nah. So instead, compartmentalize variable depth, Hawthorne strainers up front, tall bar spoons in the back, put your Japanese 2-foot spoon. They stay in place, they're not too deep, and they're always in an exact spot. They don't move. Same thing with these drawers. They're set in place. My mitt is always here. Sooner or later, I don't have to look, and I can be here. Speed, comfort, intelligence, inclusion. Now, the one thing that's actually, I think, one of the coolest things about the entire line that you can't really see is the fact that all of this equipment, all of it, is hand welded and hand polished. And the welders and the polishers hate me for making that be the thing. But I'm telling you right now, it is unbelievable. This is, for me, this is stepping into the Porsche and dropping into the leather seats and being like, oh man, why didn't someone think of this sooner? And in fact, which I've been telling people, so 2 years ago we introduced this to you guys in Anaheim, and I was first terrified of what bartenders would think of this, because what if, imagine this, what if you went off into a lab by yourself with a few engineers for 2 years and tinkered with your perfect version of something for work, only it turned out you just made something that you like and no one else would dig it. Well, the bartenders reacted extremely favorably, which is awesome. But then I had to go to Anaheim in front of all of you and say, here we go. The thing that was the coolest is the most common compliment that we got. It wasn't genius or that's the trickiest thing I've ever seen or how did you do that? Nope, it was the exact opposite. And that's when you know you're onto something big. It was, why didn't someone think of this sooner? Of course. Yes, I've always been saying they should do that. And my favorite version of that, duh. And that was really the coolest thing, is to have, you guys ask the best and the hardest questions, and to have you people coming up and going, duh. You know, yes, exactly, that's the point. Simple, ergonomic, efficient, ROI, money, compliancy, everything you want. And you're not the only ones that thought it. This was really awesome, because I actually had a conversation with these guys that said, I don't want to build the Lexus or whatever, I want the Porsche. Let's build the Porsche, but make it affordable. I don't know if we can do a Porsche. And well, first year we released it, we won one of these awards, Good Design. The Good Design Award is given out by the Chicago Museum of Design and Architecture for all products. Past winners include Apple, Bang & Olufsen, BMW, Audi, Herman Miller, and Porsche. So it was really exciting for the second time in Perlic's 100-year history that we received one of these awards for this TE signature cocktail line. But even cooler was the next year, which was last year, when you guys, FCSI, put us in this station that I helped develop with Perlick as one of the top 10 finalists in Food Service Product of the Year. That was awesome, and it meant a lot. So we decided, let's not stop with the momentum. What else do you guys need to bring to your customers that they're asking for, that no one is providing a solution for, that fits these ideas? And we think we have it. So I'm going to walk over here a little bit to show you, because it's over here. And while I do, there's two features of this station that bartenders love that aren't shown here. And I'm going to show you them right over here. So the first are foot pedals for the sink, hot and cold on a braided cable. It's braided so that you can install this right under the bartender's feet. So all they have to do is step to turn on the sink. Bartenders love it. If you haven't bartended and you're busy, you have to use two hands. Well, if your hands are full of things you have to clean, what do you have to do? Set them down, or learn these really crazy martial art movements of how to clean it all while it's still in your hands, which are nuts. So we solved that problem. And this is the Bartender Cubby. This is the flower pot and the VW Bug. This is, or the vase. We care, we know your bartenders, we get it. You have things that need to be out of line of sight that you want close to your person, but you can't have on you, so we got it for you. Wallet, purse, smartphone, towels, bitters, soda bottles, your pet frog, whatever you want. We're right here. Probably not the pet frog. Everyone's going like, are you kidding me, health code? I'm like, it was a joke. No. Yep, all right, right here in the cubby hole. So that's really that whole thing. And yeah, the cold plates, the ice bin goes from 24 to 42 with a 10 circuit cold plate. The ice bins modify, they get larger, smaller, 8-inch, 12-inch, 12-inch, 18-inch, all those options. There's that soda gun manifold housing I told you about. What else did we come up with? So, the 28 years I've been doing this, about the last 15 of those years, I get a lot of media inquiries, general media, like, hey, what's the new hot trend in bars? You know, you travel the world and do this. I kind of shy away from the majority of that, unless I'm really sure about something. Like, I was really sure that the craft cocktail thing was coming back in the very late 90s, which is why I opened a cocktail bar behind an unmarked door in 1998 in Syracuse, New York, 2 years before my late buddy Sasha Petresky opened up the bar that changed the world, Milk and Honey, when he did it in Manhattan. Because I'm like, I know this is coming, it's obvious. We did craft wine, we're doing craft beer, we're into craft whiskeys, and now all the other craft spirits. What's the only thing left? Cocktails. It's coming back. Just like I was really sure, and it's happening now, that back in my bottle flipping days, that when I watched Flair die, I'm like, it's gonna come back, everything does. How is it gonna come back? Oh, through the mixology guys. And sure enough, it's called Craft Flair. And that's all the little playing with their toys you're seeing. Well, the third thing I'm sure is on its way, because my largest clients, they're not just asking, they are spending a lot of money trying to figure it out, is, this is all great, how the hell do you scale this? How do you scale a craft cocktail bar? All this crazy a la minute stuff. And what everyone's, of course, figuring out is we need to batch, but the real solution, of course, is dispense. So we've got craft beer now in keg, we've got keg wine. I'm extremely excited to show to you guys concept equipment here at Perlick. This is the Perlick Keg Cocktail Dispense Solution. And it's a solution because it's three pieces. So, does anybody know why all the big boys, why all of the huge chains, why do they stay away from keg cocktails? There's one primary reason. There's a couple, but there's one big reason. They do draft beer, they do draft wine, why won't they do draft cocktails? I know someone knows, they just don't want to be involved in the whole thing, but what is it? It's it, agitation. You don't have to agitate beer and wine, you have to agitate cocktails because you've got different viscosities, different specific gravities. So you've got your heavy sugars, your agave nectars on the bottom, your liqueurs, then you have your fresh juices, and then you have your high proof spirits. And within minutes, they start separating to a point that it doesn't come out of the tap in a way that you can serve. And that's why a lot of the big buyers are like, it's really cool, let me know when you figure that out. And it's very recently now, there's been a resurgence of technologies from 20 years ago trying to solve that problem. When we tried to solve that problem, yes, the first thing we thought about is, well, what if we have some sort of little paddle or wheel or turbine or something that moves the liquid around? That is the first thing you would think of, and we did, and we went down that road, and people are going down that road. What we found is it actually doesn't work because in the size and the application we need to do it, it doesn't have the ability to get that high viscous simple syrup or agave nectar moving to get everything moving. It just doesn't, it's not doing the job. And I have clients and just people I know, operators in the business, who are like, yeah, we tried it, it's not working. So we had to go a whole different route. So the genius engineers that make me look good, because all I do is go, can I please have this and that? And here's a rendering, and here's some da-da, and they go, oh wow. So you want to break all the laws of physics, and you want this thing to cost $2.5 million. Awesome, go work for NASA, kid. No, instead, they actually figure this stuff out, and this is what they figured out. The solution to keg agitation is don't agitate, recirculate. So all we did is take a standard 5-gallon corny keg, it's for craft beer and craft cocktails, and instead of it being a quick release 2-port, we did a 4-port. Perfect timing for you to get that stuck, right? Okay, 4 ports. So you still have your gas in and your liquid out, right? We have 2 more ports, and if you can see inside, you can see where it draws from. The pump ports, it's got a spigot that's drawing from the bottom of the keg and releasing again from the top. So we are constantly circulating. Flow rate is 1.5 gallon per minute, entire 5-gallon keg, or 100 craft cocktails. In about 4 minutes, under 5 minutes, it's fully circulated and recirculated through a pump. So that's great, but what else is this solution? Okay, well, this is a Glycol Garnish chiller. So we've got garnishes to temperature, contact with cold plate to keep it cold. It's Glycol. Everybody knows it. There's the power pack. What's really cool about it in this application? Well, that power pack is powering and driving both units. So now we've got glycol in liquid form going through the coil, and we don't have to worry about gases and liquids and condensation and evaporation and the temperature fluctuations, all those issues that go with standard refrigeration for something that's as sensitive, in this case, as not just garnishes, but the cocktails. Because cocktails bloom at specific temperatures, just like different beers. So we want to be able to control that very precisely, okay? What else is cool about it? Well, think about the install. It's not a refrigeration tech now, it's a beer tech that can install it. Cost, simplicity is so much easier for the install. It's a Glycol line. Can we power other things with this Glycol power pack? Absolutely. What about remote? Absolutely. What about heat dispersion? What about sound? Yes, it's better, it's less. What else can we do? Well, this is great, but you've only got 1 tap, or maybe you can fit 2. What if I want 6? Sure, no problem. We can throw that in a 72-inch cabinet. We can add extra pumps. You can get more kegs. Whatever you want. Whatever solution your customers need, because they need to get this cocktail. Here's why this is the big solution for a lot of the big buyers. For the past 20 years, about 15 years I should say actually, I've been doing a lot of national account work in drink development, or I did a lot of work. And this is what they all want. Ready for this list? If you're not familiar, okay. So the national accounts, when they want drink development, right now they want on trend, fresh, consistent, only 1 new SKU, brand differentiated, 0 training fees. Oh yeah, and fast. Anything else? Can I make it fly for you? I'm like, here you go, unicorn tears. It doesn't exist. It's a disconnect, of course, but that's what everyone's tasked with. That's why they're so excited about this. Think about all those pieces, and think about costs and margins. Now you're buying everything in volume, 5 gallons at a time. Let's talk about consistency. 1 or 2 people on property, a couple times a week, batching and checking and tasting and chef, all the drinks, they're all the same. No bartender fluctuations anymore. Training piece. I'm gonna train you guys all right now how to be craft cocktail bartenders. Are you ready? Nobody blink. There, you're trained. Forget about training costs, forget about quarterly turnover and retention. You got hired today? Great, here's how we make a mojito. There you go, put a mint in it and smile. You're in. That's it. Think about all the advantages this brings and where this is going. And if you're wondering, okay, that's great, but who's doing it? T-Mobile Arena? Now they're not using this system, and they're using an incredibly complicated system that's really cool and really expensive. If you go to T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, it was just built, to go see Guns N' Roses, which was awesome, Slash was back, or to see our NHL hockey team, thank you very much. Yes, we have pro sports, finally. All right? If you go there and ask for a craft cocktail, it comes off the tap through the entire arena. It's a really exciting time. And these are the geniuses that bring it to you. And this is the pain in the butt that forces them to try to figure out how to bring it to you. But what it allows me to do more than anything that I care about besides the profitability for my clients, that speed of service, it allows me to create more space between the required steps of service, and just like the fact that music lives in the space between the notes, Hospitality lives in the spaces between the steps of service. You can't teach hospitality in a manual. You need to give people time to have it. So instead of the bartending now, and I've done it, it's this, right? This is bartending now. And just tinkering and tinkering and tinkering. Now it's like pulling a beer. And now we have that time to get back to the thing that is now coming back around, which is probably the most exciting thing I've seen. We're over the novelty and the geekiness of cocktails. Now we want to make money from it, and we want to get back to hospitality. And this is how we're doing it. My name's Tobin Ellis. Thank you very much. I want you guys, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you. More than anything, I want to thank you for being here right now today, and I'm sure a lot of you know, but for those of you that don't, you just happen to be standing here during the 100th anniversary of the family-owned American company that created all of these wonderful, wonderful toys for me and let me come into their little world and play and maybe bring something even a little bit cooler to the rest of the world. So thanks for being here. Now you get to come up and be super critics and ask all the questions and everything else, and I'm here and I want to talk about it. So whatever you got. Thanks, guys.
Give you guys one more look.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Doug. Yeah. You're in Charleston? Oh, you're from the South. My family does family reunions at Paulie's every year.
Great first impression. But our Arctic coral actually.
Can we do the bottom one?
Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Learn more at Perlick.com or just Google Tobin Ellis Cocktail Station and you'll find a ton of content out there. Thank you.